In the UFC's triumphant return to live events, Justin Geathje claimed the interim lightweight title at UFC 249 in a close to perfect display of violence against hot favorite Tony Ferguson. Aside from catching an uppercut in the second round, this new, more measured Geathje looks outstanding. And while Ferguson's freakish resilience is incredible, there's only so many shots you can take from Geathje before an orbital gets fractured, which is exactly what happened. The first man to win a UFC and a WSOF title is the only UFC fighter to win at least one Fight Night bonus in his first 7 Octagon outings. That's at least one, because he's now cleaned up 9 from his 7 UFC appearances. No wonder they call him the Highlight. That puts Geathje first in line for the champ Khabib Nurmagomedov, whose 5-time booked match with Ferguson will have to wait once again. In the co-main event, Henry Cejudo successfully defended the bantamweight title with a second-round TKO of the 2-time champ Dominick Cruz, before Cejudo announced his surprise retirement. Despite the fight being Cruz's first since December 2016 and Cejudo's first since shoulder surgery, it was a fast and furious affair. At least it was until Cruz ducked into a knee. Cejudo pounced, and the ref soon called it, just as Cruz was getting to his feet. I wish there was a way to keep these refs a little more responsible sometimes, started Cruz before turning heel. The guy smelled like alcohol and cigarettes, so who knows what he was doing. As for Cejudo, the king of cringe bows out as one of the greatest combat athletes of all time. He is one of only 7 UFC champs to hold titles in 2 divisions. He is one of the 4 to hold both titles simultaneously. And he is one of only 2 to defend both titles. But on top of that, Triple C is the only UFC champ in history to have also won an Olympic gold medal. But as usual, the real winner of the night was UFC President Dana White. When asked about the pay-per-view numbers and how ESPN felt about the event, he grinned. It did very well, and they're very happy. They should have listened to me 3 weeks ago. UFC 249 was certainly a hit, but not without its hiccups. The day before the event, middleweight fighter Geathje and Souza was pulled from the main card when he and 2 members of his team tested positive for COVID-19.
You know, the bottom line is the system worked. The system is you want to find people that, you know, what you don't want to do is 2 days after the fight say, oh, Geathje tested positive for, you know, so it worked. I mean, the system worked that we put in place.
Meanwhile, in boxing, Top Rank CEO Bob Arum insists they'll begin airing fight cards this June, after being on hold since February due to the current coronavirus pandemic, in another boon for ESPN. Arum stated that these will be shows that will be on ESPN and ESPN+. They will take place during the week and on weekends. But which fighters will be fighting? While we won't be getting the likes of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, Arum stated that other top boxers like up-and-coming phenom Teofimo Lopez were being scouted for potential matchups. Except some of those champions, like Lopez, don't seem as on board with the idea as Bob.
I feel like it won't work. That's why. You know, I feel like one fighter will probably get it during those times that they're trying to, you know, entertain the fans. I feel like at least one fighter will get the coronavirus. But let me see. Maybe Bob and, you know, and what they plan on doing and what they have in mind, it'll probably work. So I can't really just jump and put all my eggs in one basket. So let's just weigh it out.
In the heavyweight division, the postponed bout between the unified champ Anthony Joshua and the IBF's mandatory challenger Kubrat Pulev could take place in front of a crowd at a Roman amphitheater in Croatia. That's according to Pulev's management. The pair was due to meet at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London this June 20th. But with the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, a new fight date and location has yet to be announced. And is it good news or bad? the 53-year-old boxing Hall of Famer Mike Tyson has fueled the rumor flames of a return to the ring with some home footage hitting the pads and two very simple words.
Back.
Tyson has already been called out by two-time arch nemesis, the 57-year-old four-time former heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. The Real Deal recently floated the idea of fighting his longtime rival, but in a charity exhibition, which makes more sense than a pro comeback. UFC 249 was the only game in town, and what a show it was. Geathje's ridiculous record run continued, with his fight and performance bonuses against Ferguson. The other performance bonus went to Francis Ngannou for basically murdering Jairzinho Rozenstruik in just 20 seconds.
Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.